Let's have a little look. Okay, so it should be live. I'll just check that we're live, Dave.
Yeah.
Let's have a little look.
But
this should be live, you know.
Yeah.
Right, here we go, mate. I think we are live. So happy days. Right, let's go into it. So
nice.
Yeah, hey everyone. Andy here and Dave from EverTrek. I hope all is well. So today is day 3 really of, we wanted to do 3 lives this week around, you know, being in isolation, being in lockdown in the UK. We did on Tuesday we had the awesome Lee Wardle from Hero Fitness. He talked about ways you can keep fit, you know, whilst at home. So if you haven't seen that yet, definitely recommend you check that out. Myself and Dave yesterday, we talked all about equipment. So because of all the time we've got at home, we are, you know, there's ways to prepare your equipment. So again, if you haven't seen that, definitely check out the other live video. And today is what I've always been super passionate about, is mindset. Now, personally, it's something that gets neglected. I mean, you can have the best equipment on the world, you know, in the world. You can be as fit as you want, but we neglect looking after our mind, and it takes a hell of a smashing, especially during something like this. You know, like me and Dave, obviously we work for EverTrek and we're working remotely at the moment. So it's always good to see Dave on the lives. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Anne. Hello, everybody. I'm here. Yes, but no, yeah.
T-shirt.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, just representing my my love for Nepal. You know, I've actually got this in the North Face shop in Kathmandu, so it's pretty
Really?
good. Yeah, but no, yeah. I know the guys are still over there, so yeah, sending it all the love. Hey, Mark, how's it going? But yeah, no, I'm quite excited about this one. Because, to be honest, like this is something that it's really I think I'm relatively new to. You know, I don't think I've been the best at sort of looking after my mindset, looking after my sort of you know, up here.
Yeah.
So when I've done things, I've kind of just like barreled through it, you know, gritted my teeth and got on with it, but never really understood that there was a better way, a more systematic way to sort of do things. And
yeah,
I got to be honest, yeah, I've learned a lot about it in the last sort of 12 months.
Yeah.
And since then, since then I've done a lot of things, you know, like Kilimanjaro, multiple times to EBC. And honestly, since I've started like trying to harness mindset, certain things like that, managing those trips, managing work, managing my life, is a lot easier. So yeah, I'm a convert.
Good man. No, it is something that's neglected, and you know, but it can be an amazing tool because, you know, it's not just about staying positive. It does help. You know, if you're naturally a positive person, or you're a resilient person because you kind of just crack on. But yeah, there's a few things that definitely can help, especially now when we're all stuck in, you know, like we've been stuck in there. I think I've been here for, I think it's like 16, 17 days without being in the office, working from home. You know, so it's very different. It's not normal, but, you know, things we'll go into in a little bit will be, you know, it's about finding your new normal because, you know, this isn't going away, but it's not forever. And ultimately you want to come out of this with, you know, being in the position, both physically and mentally, ready to go off and do whatever you want to do, and whether that be getting to Everest Base Camp, Kili, just getting out for up your local mountain, but whatever it is, you know, if we can help a little bit, that's what we're here for. So just a point as well, any questions you have, just post them in the comments. We're doing a little Q&A at the end, just around everything really. Obviously mindset is what we're talking about today, but any question, just throw them in the comments, and me and Dave will you know, we'll tackle them.
Also, I'm sorry guys, if you can hear like a helicopter or anything, the laptop is currently trying to like levitate off it.
I can't hear it too much. It's a good job it's not your old PC. That used to take off big time.
Yeah, that was insane. But no, yeah, it's yeah, I'm excited to do this. You know, I think like you were saying, you know, with this COVID-19 and stuff like that, I think it's rare that there's ever been a time where a whole country or a whole globe is like got this collective anxiety about the same thing at the same time. Yeah. And we're all trapped essentially in sort of our own homes. I know the guys are, you know, stuck over in Nepal at the moment as well. Yeah. So yeah, there is no better time really than to talk about, you know, mindset, you know, trying to, you know, make the best of this situation and actually use it as a springboard, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, one of the big things,
Hey, Gavin.
it can be quite lonely, when you're at home. I mean, obviously, if you've got your family, it can still be lonely because you're not seeing your friends or your family. And I think the first thing I got noted down was about staying connected. Like the glory of technology is, like, obviously, Dave. I know we had a call earlier on Zoom.
Yeah.
Zoom is a great app. Morning, Max. Actually, afternoon, Max. And Anton and Gavin. Say, guys. But yeah, with regards to technology, having FaceTime. I don't know if you use House Party app, which is brilliant. I was with my cousins and my family on Friday, and it's fantastic just playing the apps. But having that connection with your family, it does pick you up a bit. It does. Like yesterday, I was chatting to my dad. He went out for his hour walk yesterday, just round about where he lives. He's near the countryside. But just seeing him on the phone, and obviously he was seeing me, it brought that connection. So I think that's important at the moment, just to stay connected with your friends, your family, and like also as well. We what was it? Oh, back in October, Day, we did a set of lives for World Mental Health Day.
Yeah.
And we talked then about talking about things and being open and stuff. And don't be afraid to talk to your family, your friends about anything you're going through. Don't keep it locked in,
Yeah.
because it makes it 10 times worse. Like Dave, we always quite open with each other, aren't we? And is anything going on in your life, we're always quite open about it, and it helps us, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's one of the big things that I think does help in this type of scenario. Stiff upper lip, it doesn't really work anymore in this day and age. You can't just sort of carry on and ignore things, because there's so much of it now in the media and stuff like that. So if you are just trying to like troop on your own and be the strong person, it'll chip away at you. Ultimately, you won't leave your house as happy as when you went in, because you are going to be getting nothing but negativity. So staying connected, reaching out to your friends, your family, speaking, use the technology. Like, this is brilliant.
Exactly.
It's great to be able to speak to you guys, but me and Andy talk several times a day like this. I talk to other friends and family on like WhatsApp and FaceTime and stuff like that. So I think it is absolutely key. Also, vent and have a moan.
Yeah, exactly. It's important that it's staying connected. Because we're used to doing it in our daily lives, or we go to the office, or in your daily commute or whatever, your interaction with human beings, but it's quite limited at the moment. So we can underestimate the impact that has by not having social interaction. So keep that. Use technology, Zoom, like I said, Zoom, WhatsApp, FaceTime, all this. We're using some other software to stream this, but Zoom is fantastic. We do a lot of our meetings and catch-ups on it. It's free as well, but I think it's under like 50 people or something. So unless you've got an absolutely massive family, you should be able to access it on free. So definitely, that's the first one. Second one I've got down is routine. Now, I'm kind of not really normally one. I hate the word routine because I think it sounds boring, but it is good to find a new routine. Just to keep you going, because when things are different every day, you don't know whether you're coming or you're going. It's good to have a routine, a little bit of a plan about what you're doing in the day. I think anyone who's stuck in the house at the moment, just put something together. Just have a little bit of a routine, whether that be going out at say 9 o'clock for a walk, then doing your work or whatever you want to do. If you're homeschooling kids, obviously have a little routine with them as well. It just takes a little bit of pressure off, because you know what you're going to be doing. And as I mentioned a little bit, it was about 5-10 minutes ago, about finding your new normal. I find once you've got that new normal, then there's no, you're not worrying about it. You're not anxious about stuff. It's because that's what you've got to do. Around now, this could last for 3 months.
Yeah.
But if you've got that new normal, then you're going to come out of this. Okay, like, it hasn't impacted you that as much as it would, as if every day was different. You don't know whether you're coming or going.
Yeah, I think building a routine, I think, is key. Like without a routine, you tend just to lose huge parts of the day. Watching Netflix, watching social media, scroll. But there's no harm in doing those things. I think it is important. Like when you look at your routine, and you can even write it down, like I do. Like I literally do write it down. Not just keep it in my head, but one of the most important things I think that I factor in is like switch off time. So you need to factor in, when you need to stay in contact, you need to sort of speak to your friends and family, you need to do work, you need to do exercise, which is key. But you also need time, I think, to just lay off social media and do something else productive.
Yeah.
And that's like really helping me at the moment, because like I said, there's so much negativity at the moment. It's all death tolls.
Yeah.
That's all you're ingesting. Now it's, yes, it's happening. Yes, we know about it. Yes, it's incredibly tragic, but do you need to read about it like for 20 minutes every hour, every day, every week? It's only going to serve to sort of increase your negativity, increase your anxiety about being stuck in, and it's going to make you think that the world outside is like a post-apocalyptic landscape. But it's not. It's still a magnificent place, and this will pass. And the less sort of negativity you absorb through social media, through 24-hour rolling virus news, the happier I think you'll be ultimately.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I think you're right. We are creatures of habit, aren't we, human beings? And especially when you're getting all this stuff into you, if that's all you're seeing, then that's all your mind's going to be thinking about all the time. So I think you're right, Dave. Yes, really good point. I think, because I'm on social media, like you guys, I'm on Facebook, catching up, see what people are up to. Especially, we got guys who are currently still stuck in Kathmandu. And it's great because they're posting their pictures and stuff. So we're having that connection through social media, but you're seeing what they're up to. But you don't have to do it all the time. It's good to have a break and do other things, There's nothing wrong with watching Netflix. I do it myself, I'm quite into, a couple of good programs on Netflix. And we don't want to do it all day. It'll be, because like I said, it's about finding more normal, and more normal isn't about watching Netflix all day, every day. If it works for you, that's fine. But I think keeping a positive mindset, you want to come out of this with a positive mindset and ready to take on whatever you want to take on.
Yeah.
Again, it's about finding that normal. So yeah, Dave, that's a good one. Goals. I know this is when we talked about on a podcast, when we talked about Mental Health Week, about breaking things down. But I think a big one are goals, even stuck in the house. Small, achievable goals each day will pick you up a little bit.
Yeah.
If any time, say you've got 3 things you need to do every day. Like in the morning, you said, right, I've got 3 things I'm going to do today, and by the end of the day, you tick those things off. You naturally feel a bit more. You're like, yeah, I've achieved something here, even if it's walking the dog, even if it's cleaning the living room. You've actually achieved something, and then it's almost like, I think James made a good point. James, good friend of mine and Dave's, came with us to Killy.
Papa Tembo.
Papa Tembo means Papa Elephant, because he's the king of the jungle. But he made a good point, is that basically they earned. I think yesterday, Dave, we went and saw some video footage, didn't we, about James coming down when we all met him at the gate with a beer, and he felt like he'd earned that beer because of what he's achieved. Obviously, he got him Killy. I'm not saying you have to do that just to earn a beer. Jeez.
Yeah.
But if you need to, if that helps you, like you say, okay, I'm not gonna have that beer until I'm not gonna have that treat until I've done something. Lee mentioned it actually on Tuesday.
Yeah.
About he stuck his treat on the fridge because someone asked about what about sort of eating loads of junk while I'm at home. So he used to stick it on the fridge, and he wouldn't take that off or drink or eat that whatever it was, that treat, until he'd achieved something.
Yeah.
And I think so having that goal each day, I just think it perks you up a little bit.
It does, yeah. I've made a point of I set aside 1 hour a day to go out for a run.
Yeah.
Now, I used to run a lot, then I didn't run at all, and now I'm running again, and it's horrible. I hate it. I saw a post the other day that said the first step is the hardest of any run, and I'm thinking, yeah, that is absolutely true. All the other ones,
Did you get caught? Did someone shout at you or something?
Yeah, basically, yeah. So I don't know if you guys know, but I'm from Newport in South Wales, and I'm quite popular here. And every time I go out for a run, it's like when you do like a half marathon or a marathon, similar to that effect. Only difference is that this was a load of chavs in a car shouting, "Run, fat boy, run!" So that's what I get. That's what I get. They were handing. I think they were sweets, but they might have been something else, But yeah, that doesn't stop me. That doesn't stop me. I laughed it off. I put my hands in the air. I was like, fine, whatever. But yeah, that. But still, when I got back, I felt like, yeah, I've earned myself half a beer.
Yeah.
You know? Unfortunately, they come in whole beers, so I have to do something else then to earn the other half.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Just like stay positive, you know.
Yeah.
And also, I think one of the key things that really helps me about this type of stuff is having a sense of humor about it. You know, I've got to be able to laugh at myself and laugh at situations that are potentially quite dire.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the other day, I was running down the road and there were some people coming towards me, and I think the sight of this sort of sweaty fat lad breathing heavily was honestly, it was like the Red Sea, just bad. You know, it was like I had like a police light above my head. They just moved out of the way, you know. So yeah, I'm finding the positives in every situation. So this virus, though terrible, is making people that would potentially be in my way scared of me.
It's good though, isn't it? Because you're using that. I mean, whatever happens, you know, you're going out for a run. Yeah, people shouting at you. You use it as motivation. That's what I know. We talked about it yesterday, but it's, you know, I know it's just words. But
it is what it is. I mean, it might have offended, you know, if I was in a more delicate mood. But you know, I'm not out there running because I'm an athlete. I'm not out there training for the next Olympics. You know, yeah, I'm out there trying to stay healthy and just trying to keep my chin up. I mean, having said that, I wonder how many of them could get up the top of Killy. You know?
Yeah. Good point. No, mate, it's good though.
Jacob, how's it going, Risker lad? Yeah, you probably experienced some of what I'm talking about then.
Nice. I'm just seeing some of the comments come through. Jacob. Yeah, Jacob's. I think Jacob, you've been on the lives the last 3 days, haven't you? Yeah, thanks for shooting in again.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like these things, obviously, they're goals. They're small goals, but you going for a run. I bet it does perk you up, doesn't it? I know not after you're like knackered, but it makes you feel good that you've gone for a run.
It's the smug factor, you know, which is good because no matter how far I've done a run, you know, it's further than I did sat on the sofa. You know, it's not fast, it's not pretty. You know? The numbers aren't impressive, but you know, I know Brian, who's watching, he's a very keen runner, you know, and I remember I was chatting to him about it on the training weekend, and he's like, you know, it doesn't matter if you run a mile or 26. You know, what matters is you get out there and have a crack at it. Hey, Dave, how's it going? Dave Williams.
Hey, hi, Dave. Good to see you, mate. Fire some questions, guys. Fire some questions at us, just for the end. I'm noticing.
Otherwise, John from Brecken's going to be asking a hell of a lot.
No, I know. Lauren's been, she's posting some of them to us, but it's all good. Okay, yeah. So as we said, goals, huge, massive when you're at home. So definitely, you know, even if it's just 3 small goals. You achieve the smaller goals, it helps the big ones become more real, become more attainable. Dave, I know you wrote down, you mentioned something around accountability. Do you want to talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, so really, without accountability, I'm one of those people that will struggle to sort of get out and do things. So I know Lee talked about it as well, and it really struck a chord with me when I was listening, because I thought, that's what works for me. And if it works for me, I know there must be a lot of other people that it works for. So yeah, when I'm sat at home, particularly in situations like this, you know, the motivation to go out and do a run, or to do some like just normal body weight exercises, or to do some work, or to do anything. I feel it requires you have to be accountable. Now, you don't have to be accountable to anyone other than yourself. You know, you can, and like I said, you know, putting that post-it on the mirror, writing something down. So this desk that my computer's on, right next to it, I'll write a list of like things, like a to-do list that I have to get done, you know. In between those things, I'll write down like a little reward, you know. So 3 o'clock every afternoon, I go for a run. And then after that, I get an hour off, you know, and it helps. And it's like a little sort of accountability followed by reward, accountability followed by reward. You know, and if you do that, set a task, make yourself accountable, and then reap the reward, you know. And I think just you get into that sort of cycle, habit. And then it really does help. You know, but also you can be accountable to anybody. Sometimes, you know, if you want to do something big and grand, you want to climb Kilimanjaro, you know, but you're not sure if you can, or you're not sure, you know, if you're that type of person that can do it. What about the altitude? What about the travel? What about sickness and stuff like that? You can manage all of those things. The biggest difficulty is leaving the door with your bag.
Yeah.
You should just tell
people. You can't do right now.
Exactly. Exactly. But what you should,
we will.
So that's what I'll do. Like, I'll come into work one day and I'll say, Andy, by the end of 2021, I'm going to climb Aconcagua, one of the 7 summits.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I'm going to do it, this time, this year and stuff like that.
And you will.
And then,
go on.
And then we'll discuss it, 2-3 months down the line. How's your training going on, Dave? I haven't done anything. It's like, well, want to make it by 2020. And then I'm like, yeah, okay. And then I'll get out and do something, So yeah, find what works for you. Build a routine around accountability and reward.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be huge things like climbing Everest. It could be little things like, I'm going to go out for a half-hour walk today.
Yeah.
I haven't done that for the last week. So if I do it tomorrow, I know I'm going to be a bit healthier. And you know what? I'm going to treat myself to something I enjoy, and you'll really appreciate it afterwards.
No, I think it makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, I know we've talked about that on the podcast, especially about goals and telling people about them, because then they become tangible, they become real. They're not just floating around in the ether. If you said that to me, and I'm like, cool. So then you're right. Accountability wise, I'm holding you accountable to that. I'm like, Dave, okay, how's it going? How's your prep going for Aconcagua?
Yeah.
Obviously, I know I'm pressed out in the situation right now. It's a little bit more difficult. You can't go out on the long walks or anything to really prepare. You can't go climbing any mountains around the moment. But this is why we're talking about it this week. The 3 lives is because we want to be coming out of this full of positivity, full of energy to get on the adventures, whatever you want to do. We always talk about finding your Everest, or finding your golf, as Dave says to me, because I like golf.
Yeah.
Which leads me to my next one, because a big thing I find useful when it comes to these sort of things is visualization. I know it sounds a bit fluffy, like, visualizing things, but I bring it back to golf. If I got a putt and I'm lining up a putt, it was like 10 yards or whatever, 10 feet. I'm visualizing it before I hit it that goes in the hole. Just that simple visualization makes it real for me, and it's like I've already achieved it. And I think anything you want to do, like go to Everest Base Camp, go into Kili, go into Machu Picchu, Toubkal, whatever you want to do, if you can picture yourself doing that, it kind of fills you up. Like, again, not massively spiritual, but and if you can close your eyes and almost visualize yourself doing that. Like Dave, you told the old story when you were 7, 8 years old, you had that poster of Everest on your wall. You used to visualize yourself climbing it. Now, I know it's still a dream of yours to climb Everest, but doing that surely just makes it a little bit more real.
It does, yeah. I mean, to be honest, even that was like, as a kid, like lying in bed looking at Everest. I had no concept of what even Everest looked like as a mountain, really, because you just saw the summit, and I imagined with a torch looking at it was brilliant. But even more recently than that, climbing Kilimanjaro. Yeah. I had to kind of it was weird. I kind of broke it down and looked at the big picture at the same time. I visualized myself on the summit of Kilimanjaro, and I'd lie in my tent at night, like imagining the feeling, of just like tapping the sign and grabbing the picture and watching the sunset and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, it gave me like just such a tremendous boost to do the next day. And even within those days, I'd visualize myself, that bit I loved at the end of the day when everyone gets together and we all have a big group hug and you take pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would sort of, as I was walking and as I was struggling and as the doubts creep in, because they do with everybody.
Yeah, we all go through it, don't we?
That visualization really does, it puts your mind ahead of the problem, and then all you've got to do is put one step in front of the other. And it really does help. And in terms of like managing anxiety as well, that visualization process really does help you focus on the positives, even without, when someone says focus on the positives and you think, right, I'm sitting down and I'm going to think positive things, it's not
easy though, is it?
It's not as simple as that. Yeah. But by visualizing things you want to achieve, you'll do it automatically, just think about things you want to achieve. Think about the reasons why you went there.
Yeah.
You're not forcing yourself to be positive, but you are tapping into, what forced you there in the first place, which for most of us is like, personal growth, that experience of having done something new, that exhilaration of doing something, and so I think, visualization paramount.
Yeah, I think also as well, like it comes down to sometimes it's the fears as well, isn't it? I know obviously we talked about visualization goals, but a big one we've talked about, I think obviously we've got an article coming out about solo traveling.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, you are in the house. You potentially on your own a little bit. And, it's one of the questions we get asked, I'm on my own. Is it okay to come on one of the trips? How does it feel? It's a little fear. And Dave, I know you've written a really good article, which will be out in the next couple of days. So if you're watching, do look out for that on the website. We'll post it on the page here.
Exactly. Yeah. Because one of the biggest barriers, because doing something like wanting to go to Everest, wanting to go to Africa, wherever, is, you look at it, but you don't feel like you can do it on your own. People naturally, as humans, we're like pack animals. We want to be part of something, but travel doesn't have to be that way. You can do it solo, and they say solo, unless you're going on a solo Arctic adventure, you're going to have people anyway. What I wanted to do is just try and remove that as a barrier for people. If you want to go and do something, you can do it. You don't need all your friends and all your family to want to do it as well. It's nice to have their support, but you don't have to have people go with you. You can do it on your own and get even more out of it. And I guarantee, because I know Andy's one as well, he's a solo traveler, way more experienced than me. It's like practically one of your preferred ways to get about, isn't it?
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love hanging out with people and stuff, but I choose to have the balance. I go out in the mountains on my own. I go with you, with friends. But it just gives me that little bit of thinking time. I mean, when I first went to base camp, it was on my own. But you're never really on your own. You make friends. You start hiking with people that you've never met before. Again, that's I don't want to take too much away from the article, because I want you all to read Dave's article. It's really good. But it's an amazing thing. So look, even if you're on your own now in the house, which brings us back to why we're obviously talking about it today, you're not on your own. Reach out. We go back to what we said about connections at the beginning. Reach out and stay connected to friends and family digitally, but almost try and enjoy your own time, even just for an hour a day. Have your own little thinking time. Think about what you got in the future, because when this all blows over and you've then got that time, you can get out, you can go and do whatever you want to do. You can find your own Everest, and you can go ahead with positivity. And that's why I think it's really important that obviously we talked about this today. This is why I wanted to finish with mindset, because we talked about equipment, we talked about fitness the last 2 days, which are amazing because we can do those in the house. Mindset you can do anytime. But I want everyone here, anyone who's watching, our EverTrekkers in the group, all of our customers who are coming back, anyone that's out of this situation, I want people to come out of it with positivity, and we can all do that. Let's just this will end. As will this live, because I know we're going on for like
we've got some questions.
We have. Should we go ahead into questions, Dave?
Yeah. So John from Brecon has said he texts all the time these questions. So that's the Great Bald Yeti for any of you that don't know. Is there a point in the trek where you find you struggle with motivation or positivity? So-called hitting the wall. Okay. And how do each of you get through it?
You go first. You go first?
Yeah, you go first.
So for me, because we've all done it, whether it be on Everest Base Camp, Killy, going up, in the mountains. I was up Laragru in November, which is a high pass in Scotland. It took us 17 hours initially. Yeah, and you can hit the wall. I think the best thing is to realize why you started to do that in the first place. We all choose to do stuff in our life, but sometimes we always forget the why we do it. And for me, that gives me a bit of a kick in the ass, because if I'm, if I've hit the wall, I'm like, come on, I'm going to get there. I know it's tough, but remember why. Like when I went to Everest on my own, and it was freezing because it was in winter, and I didn't really hit a wall, but it was finding it tough. And I remembered why, and I was like, Andy, you chose to be here, mate. You booked that flight, to get out to Nepal. You're doing it because you want to prove something to yourself. Because for me, it was about, because I got asthma, I wanted to prove I can get to Everest. And so that gave me that proverbial kick up the backside. And then I cracked on. What about you, Dave?
Yeah, so first of all, I want to say, Gavin, loved your comment there about your little land as well. Awesome.
Oh, nice.
And Laura. Hello, Laura.
Sorry, guys, I know you're commenting, we can see.
Yeah, so when it comes to if we're talking about, hitting the wall motivation-wise and how we get through it, I can talk about like that happened. You saw it, and on when we were coming down from the summit of Kilimanjaro.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
You know, and it's a long old day, and you get back to base camp after the summit, and it's amazing. Yeah. And then you have like another 4 to 5 hour walk back down to the lower camp. And about halfway through that walk down, I was struggling going downhill. My knee was a bit shot, and that was it. I had enough. I just sat down and I told everyone, I said, go. I can't be bothered. Like I was just going to sit there. But, you know, being the team that they are, they obviously didn't abandon me. And I said to Andy at some point, I said, you know what, if I could quit now, I would.
I wouldn't let you. I said, to you, something like,
but
get up.
One of the things that I think is, this is how I do it, how I get through these things. One is I embrace the whinge. I let myself have a little whinge, I let myself have a little vent, and then I take a deep breath and I put one foot in front of the other and I carry on, you know? Yeah. I always feel like it's important to acknowledge the negativity in your head, you know? So if you are feeling like you want to quit, then say it to yourself out loud, or say it to someone you trust or love, like a friend, you know? So when I saw Andy, I was like, if I could quit now, I would. It didn't mean that I ever would. It just meant I had to expel that thought from my brain. Yeah. And then I just carried on, you know? And also it come back to like visualization, you know? I just put myself back on the summit, remembered the feeling. And you know what? The following day, when we had a huge celebration with our team, it was like, it almost moved you to tears. It was one of the best experiences of my life. And you always know that happens. Yeah. You know, what do they say? Like the sunset always follows the storm or something like that. Clear sky. I don't know. You insert analogy here. You know, but
hang on with your analogies, but
exactly. Yeah,
very good point.
So that's it. Yeah, it's a mixture of just acknowledging negative thoughts, expelling them out of your brain. Yeah. And then, you know, visualizing why you did it, focusing on what you've achieved. And then, it's not hard. You put one foot in front of the other, you know?
Yeah. And it's as simple as that sometimes, isn't it? Okay, mate. Yeah, no, very good. I like that. Who was that now? Okay, another question. Are you scared of heights, and how do people overcome their fears of crossing the bridges? It's a good one. It's first of all, I'm not scared of heights. I don't. Dave, you're pretty good with heights, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm not scared of heights or exposure or anything like that. I think I'm lucky. I do have a lot of other things that terrify me, but you know, heights isn't one of them.
How do people get over them?
So, right, first of all, again, I know we're going to recap a lot of the things that we've already said, but one of the guys, he's on the video, hopefully he's still there, Max. He's really afraid of heights, and particularly like exposure and drops and things like that. So when we went out there and we did the trek together in April, he did have a big concern about the bridges. You know, there's a lot of metal suspension bridges when you go to Everest Base Camp. They are pretty exposed. You know, especially the Hillary Bridge. You know, it's high. But I think you need to just try and again acknowledge. Here he is, Max. Acknowledge.
I knew he's still watching.
Yeah. You know, just don't try and hide it. Don't try and suppress it, because it'll make it worse. You know, talk to people about it. Use the support of those around you. And it's just one step at a time, you know. Focus. I mean, technically, focus on the end of the bridge. Don't look down. Don't look left or right. Just keep your eyes forward and just put one step in front of the other. And you will get over it. And you will realize they are not that bad. And the good thing is that once you've done one, the next one's easier, the next one's easier, and the next one's easier. And then by the time you come back down, you're running across them. And also the guides that we have over there, they are, I can't emphasize enough how much they want to look after the people that are in their care, you know? Yeah. They're from the areas, they've done it a million times, but each time they do it, you feel like you're the first person they've ever looked after, you know? And getting you across and making you get across happy and confident is paramount. So use the guides, listen to their advice, and it's not as bad as it seems, and it will get easier.
Yeah, Max is right. He said, what has he said there? Sounds weird, but embrace the fear. Sorry, I realised we can actually pull some of the comments in. So I don't know if you're watching the live, you can see that, but Max is 100% right. He works for the NHS, by the way, and clap to you, my friend. But yes, you do have to embrace the fear, don't you? Sometimes take it head on, and then it becomes. And I know Max on the way down, because we went. I mean, on the base camp trek, you do go. There's a river. You follow the Dudkosi River, and some of the passes, some of the paths are next to the river. They got a little bit of a drop there, so on the way back though, Max seemed completely different when that happened. It was as he was walking down, didn't let it affect him, just cracked on, and it was almost like that fear had dissipated. It wasn't there anymore.
One quick question from Jacob, which is quite interesting because I'm glad he's asked it, because a lot of people might not ask this. Have you had people with colostomy bags do any of our trips, and how do they handle it?
Okay.
I believe we have. I know of one person.
Yeah.
And it's all about, I think, just preparation. I was speaking to his carers. He was actually a gentleman with autism, and he was doing the trip, and he had the bag. But yeah, it's about being open with your guide about any sort of particular needs that you might have and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then also, going prepared. I didn't think he suffered any sort of major issues with temperature wise, like the cold affecting the bag or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that no, he didn't have any major problems with it. Digestion and things like that slow down at altitude, but that affects everybody equally.
Yeah.
So I think it's like any health condition. As long as you're prepared, you know what you need to do to look after yourself, and then you let us know, and you let your guides know. And perhaps if you're sharing a room with someone, open up and talk to that person, and mention any difficulty you might be in and stuff like that. But no, I don't believe there's any barrier that should stop anyone doing anything they want. We can overcome almost anything.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it's that mindset thing, isn't it? It's not taking a colostomy bag at altitude is obviously not something you do every day. So as Dave said there, prepare about it, but keep positive. Stay chat to your guide, as Dave mentioned. Let us know if you're coming on a trip. We've had people with certain disabilities who've come on our trip, and they've come with their carers and things. As long as we know, we can obviously manage it then and manage the situation. So just about communicating it, being open to your guides. Obviously, if you want to keep it to yourself, whatever you're dealing with, but I know by the end of the trip, you make loads of friends, and you're always quite open because you're spending it almost every hour of the day with each other. Yeah. So it's all part of that. But yeah, just communicate that to us. So I hope that helps, Jacob, and maybe answers that question, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we've answered those questions now. I mean, coming to the end, just to sort of finalize it, really, Dave. As I mentioned before, it's about coming out of this ready to sort of smash your goals with a positive attitude, because this will end, this will pass. It is tough at the moment, and do remember, connect with people, use the technology, find some sort of routine, do have time to switch off, enjoy your treats, write down something that you want to achieve that day, as well as the last 2 days, what we talked about, fitness. So allocate time and put some time aside, half hour, an hour, whatever, to do a little bit of physical stuff.
Yeah, I think it's key. Yeah. I've started doing it a lot more, hand on heart. I probably haven't been as on top of my training as I should have been. I've been keeping my eye in so I can do things like Killy, but not perhaps as fit as I was maybe a year ago. And yeah, it's a good idea anyway in this time. Yeah. The fitter you are and the healthier you are, the safer you'll stay. So yeah, and
exactly.
And I think if you're stuck indoors, there's a lot of restrictions on us at the moment. But in my mind, what that does, it makes the things that we are allowed to do so much more bigger and so much more important, So although we can't go out, we're not allowed to socialize, we're not allowed to mix with friends, but we're allowed out for an hour a day. That's like, wow.
Yeah.
That hour a day to go and do exercise is now like the center of my world. It's Christmas every day. So, focus on what you are allowed to do.
Yeah.
Focus on the freedoms that you do have, and yeah, we'll ride this out together.
Yeah. Cheers for watching, everyone. I mean, before we do go, we do have a little bit of an announcement today, because over the last few days, we've touched upon it a little bit, because we know that once this is over, people still want to go on trips. And I know I've got some trips booked in myself this year that unfortunately, have had to be cancelled, which it happens as everyone's in the same boat. But when this ends, I know we're all going to want to go in the mountains. We're all going to want to go on a trip, whatever that is. So we want to make that, especially for 2021, 2022, we want to make that as easily reachable as possible. So yeah, over the last week we've had a bit of a chat, and especially with booking onto our trips. We decided that we're reducing the deposits for April down to £10. So if you want to book onto a trip with us, the deposit's only £10 now. So nice and easy. Book on as you normally would for any trip. So whether that's Machu Picchu, whether that's Kili, or if you haven't booked to go to Everest yet on one of our Everest trips, whether that's Island Peak, we will be releasing Toubkal real soon. We're just putting the finalizing touches on that. So do keep a lookout. But yeah, so I wanted to sort of announce that on here. We will be popping an email out to our email list just to let everyone know.
Yeah.
And we'll be doing a few different posts and things just to promote that. But yeah, if you're watching and it's something you're keen in, comment below, and we can always, just get in touch with you. Because we're all at home, what we can do, we can even have a call like this, little virtual call, as we put it, if you want to chat to us about the trip, anything that is stopping you from going on a trip, just let us know. That's what we're here for.
Exactly. Or any of the topics we've discussed, or even one you want to discuss with us, we can set aside time all day to talk to people. I never get bored of talking about anything.
Especially equipment.
Talk to me. Yeah, like talk equipment and stuff like that. Yeah, just we can do this. You can have your own little Q&A. Why not? But I just to finish off, touch on what Andy said. Yeah, we do like to think. I think of every one of you guys that's listening, everyone that will receive this as part of a community. And we are a community. And we, we recognize the names. People recognize us, and we like to have that. But one of the biggest tragedies I think that will come out of this, is if people, put their dreams on hold indefinitely, and we want basically everybody that's part of our community to be able to, keep the dream alive, book a trip, and have it basically have no financial impact on them, So you can get it locked in, and you can then book it, a year, 2 years down the line, and you can book it for nothing, basically a tenner.
Yeah.
So hopefully that helps you guys. And yeah, hopefully that'll, give you something to think about.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Dave. Well, cheers, mate. It's been awesome the last few days. We're going to do more of these. I think while we're working remotely, we'll do some more Q&As over the coming weeks. So, do keep a lookout on the page. If you're not part of the EverTrekkers group yet, the High Altitude EverTrekkers, get on over there. It's where everything happens. We make our announcements on there just to let our community know. Especially if it comes to specific sort of things and discounts that we're doing. But yeah, £10 deposit. If you're keen, do just comment below, and we'll obviously be in touch with you, or pop us a little email to info@evertrek.co.uk. But other than that, yeah, Dave, cheers for that. That was good.
Enjoyed that. Guys, enjoyed it. Yeah, it's pretty good. I got 2 hours till I got to go running.
2 hours to your run, mate. What can we do? Just want to say as well, obviously, we got just to update people on the situation. We've still got our customers. Brian, who's been commenting, as well as a couple of the others have been commenting the last couple of days, like Justin, Nick. A lot of our customers who are still over there. We still got 16 customers in Kathmandu. Because Nepal's on a lockdown, they can't get back to the UK at the moment. So, we're constantly in touch with the embassy. Luckily, there seems to be progression, because the UK government, or the Foreign Office, about 2 days ago announced some funds to charter flights to go and pick our customers up. So, we'll update you again as much as we can. But I know Brian's looking after the beer supplies in Kathmandu, so he's making sure they're well looked after.
Yeah, I hope there's some left for you, Mick, when you get back out there, mate.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm sure there will be. But yeah, we'll keep you updated. And yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll chat to you again.
Excellent. Cheers, guys. Speak to you soon.
Dave. See you, mate.
Yeah, we do the